This is the Wannigan we're going to build. It's a regular size food Wannigan. At Wobbin we carry food in these Wannigans, and then we have a bigger Wannigan that we use as a kitchen Wannigan to carry our pots and pans in. But today we're just going to work on how to cut out the pieces you need to build a regular Wannigan. People, even at Wobbin, use their Wannigans for things other than just carrying food. Sometimes they're used as a step ladder, bedside table, endside table, storage area, etc., etc. There's an unlimited number of things you could use your Wannigan for, and we hope that you can build one and use it for whatever you want to use it for.
So the Wannigan box is made of plywood and either pine or spruce and bottom. Plywood sides, plywood lid. Lid has to cover the top of the box and fit snugly to keep the rain, water, and critters out. The handles are spruce or pine or cedar. Top handle on the lid, handles to lift it, cedar on the bottom to keep it lighter and keep it off the bottom of the canoe and off of the ground. So now we're going to look at sizes of the Wannigan for cutting out a piece of plywood. The Wannigan lid is 27 inches. So what we generally do at the camp is we'll cut by a big sheet of plywood. But if you have access to a sheet of plywood that's 3/8 of an inch thick, all you need is measure out 27, the length of your lid, and then we'll cut that out, and you can cut your sides out of the rest, and there'll be very little waste.
So you drew your straight line across your end of your plywood at 27 inches. Once you've drawn that line, get a skill saw or table saw and cut across the end of your plywood so you have one piece that's 4 feet by 27 inches.
We've made our first cut off a sheet of plywood, so really that's all the plywood you need for this. So if you can salvage it, 3/8 plywood or 1/2 inch plywood, the thinner the plywood, the lighter it's going to be. I usually make it out of 3/8. So then you're going to cut your lid out, measure 12, get a line on. You can measure each side, put a line, or you can use a square. Notice I've already put the line on there.
While you're away, the magic of some very loud sawing happened, and we cut our piece of plywood into 3 pieces. One is 27 by 12 inches long, and the other 2 are 27 by 14 3/4 inches long.
Once we cut the lid out, we're cutting the sides. The sides are 14 3/4 high or deep by 24 inches long. So from that 27 inch piece, we're just going to measure out 24.
So you had 3 pieces that were 27 inches long, but our sides need to be shorter than our top. So we cut 3 inches off of those 2 pieces, leaving us with one piece that's 27 by 12 and 2 pieces that are 24 by 14 3/4. They are the 2 sides, and the 27-inch piece is the top. And now you have 3 pieces of scrap left, 2 smaller pieces and 1 long skinny piece. That's okay, they're scrap. Now it's time to cut our lumber for the ends, the bottom, the handles, and the feet of our Wannigan. If you look at your materials list, you'll see that you need a 57-inch long 1 by 12. The 12 inches is going to be trimmed down slightly on a table saw. You need 48 inches of 1.5 by 1.5 for your handles, and you need 24 inches of for your feet.
bottom and the ends of the Wannigan are pine. So we'll measure those out to their length and cut them. So we have a pine board that's a 1x12, and so we're going to measure that to length for the bottom of the Wannigan. That's going to be 22 1/4 long and 11 1/8 wide. And same for the sides. The sides will be 11 1/8 wide, and they'll be 14 5/8 long. So we'll measure that out, 14 5/8 with the tape measure, and then we'll take a square and we'll measure that off, and we'll cut that, and then the 11 5/8, 11 1/8 wide, we're going to make that cut on the table saw, 11 1/8. So we'll rip that all the way along there on the table saw. Just go time. So next we're going to put the handles on the Wannigan. My handles are undercut a little bit, and they're kind of beefy. They're made with 2x2s, so it's like 1.5 by 1.5. So we're going to cut these out. So it's the width of the lid, so 11 7/8, 2 of them. And this is also going to be 11 7/8, so 1.5 by 1.5. And eventually screw them onto the Wannigan.
Okay.
Now, feet of the Wannigan, come over the edge and hold the sides, the bottom, and the ends together. So it's the whole width of the Wannigan, and we glue that on and screw that on. But for now, we're just going to cut it, and they're 11 7/8 by 4. Okay, in order to put screws into plywood, you need to countersink the holes. So that when you lift it up, winding it up, there's no head that's going to scrape against your leg. Okay, so that they're countersunk. And remember, the plywood is 3/8 and you're screwing into 3/4 inch pine. So you can't be too far or too deep in. So what we do is we have the staff will put a 1/2 inch mark, and then 1/2 inch mark, and then we'll run a line all the way to the other end at a 1/2 inch, so you can put your screws not too deep, not too far up or not too far low, so it splits the pine. And this is what a countersinking bit looks like. It drills through the wood, and then it countersinks for the head of the screws. Okay, in order to put screws into plywood, you need to countersink the holes. So that when you lift it up, winding it up, there's no head that's going to scrape against your leg. Okay, so that they're countersunk. And remember, the plywood is 3/8 and you're screwing into 3/4 inch pine. So you can't be too far or too deep in. So what we do is we have the staff will put a 1/2 inch mark, and then 1/2 inch mark, and then we'll run a line all the way to the other end at a 1/2 inch, so you can put your screws not too deep not too far up or not too far low, so it splits the pine. And this is what a countersinking bit looks like. It drills through the wood, and then it countersinks for the head of the screws.